Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky15, where I'll be giving you my horse racing predictions as usual for tomorrow's horse racing action in the format of a Lucky 15 each way bet. If you're brand new to the channel, I'm looking to be a horse racing journalist in the future one day. I'm going back to university to study a master's degree in sports broadcasting journalism, and this is why I created the channel, so I can give you my passion and knowledge of horse racing. Even though we don't always win, I sometimes give my tips and that, and we have our good days and bad days, but this is what the channel is all about, giving me confidence, experience of being behind the camera, producing and making videos, and I just do it for a bit of fun, and I absolutely love horse racing, and it's my main passion in sport and the one that I would ultimately like to work in the most. So thank you for all your following, even though, like I say, we don't get many good days. We often have more bad days and good days, but that's the life normally, isn't it, of the average punter. But I just like to give you the selections of what I think may run well each day. They don't, like I say, always come in. I'm just going to go and review Saturday's action for all you people that watched out there on Saturday to my predictions and did them, because it probably wasn't worth doing in the end because it was a bit of a shocker. Unlike earlier in the week, where last week on Monday we actually had all four winners on the each way Lucky15 at fair and not bad prices. But I'll go through on how Saturday selections ran. Just also want to apologise as well, not making a vlog for today. It's often typical. Often on Sundays I don't make vlogs because unfortunately I never have time on Saturday evenings or on Sunday mornings to make vlogs, so I'm sorry about that. I only make the odd one or two really on a Sunday morning. And typical, I had a fair few winners today, and that was really annoying, especially on the jumps, which is probably my speciality. If you had to choose between flat or jumps with me, let us know in the comments box below what you prefer betting on, jumps or flat. I'll be interested in what you have to say. So yeah, it was one of those days today. Also Saturdays was as well. Sometimes I do some private bets away from the channel, and often enough they tend to do better than the predictions I make on the vlog, and that was the case. We had Chiefs of Chiefs was definitely one good price horse I remember we had in the first race at York, which came in for us at 10-1, so that was a really good bet there. We also had a few other nice 7-8-1 kind of bets that went through for us on the day. But like I say, it's a shame we don't make these predictions on the vlog when I do them privately. But I'm just going to go through on how Saturday selections ran. Like I say, not a great start. We had Bullington Bandit, which never really featured in the race. It was an 80-1 winner on its debut, but it couldn't follow up, and that's probably was a little bit of a quality race. I think Gustav Klimt ran in that race, and that was actually quite a good performance in the end, considering that Ryan Moore had to navigate that horse a few times to successfully steer it to victory. Then we had Killarney Rock at York. Lee said about that the better. I'm not sure what the horse was doing. It wasn't a very good ride at all from Gerald Mosse. And then we had Caravaggio in the big one in the July Cup, and I know one or two of you have commented that why the hell did I go for Caravaggio when Harry Angel won so convincingly? Well, fair play to Harry Angel. He ran a good race. I think a lot of things went his way in the race. Caravaggio from the start made a hash of it, a bit like he did at Royal Ascot, to be fair. And then when they kept going in the race, Ryan Moore about halfway out was kind of looking for a bit of a gap, and he was off the bridle quite quickly trying to push on Caravaggio. He managed to draw him out towards the end, and it did run on and was just denied third place, finishing back and forth. I think if those two horses met again, I think it would be really hard to decide between the two, but it's going to be an exciting contest over the next maybe year or so. If they decide to lock horns again, that'd be really interesting to see who comes out on top and who will eventually become the better horse. I still think Caravaggio, if he maybe got a better start in the race, he could have maybe given Harry Angel a bit more of a run for his money, because he tends to seem to be running on well. His performance at Royal Ascot, and especially this race where he ran on well towards the last furlong, could suggest that Caravaggio may want to go up to 7 furlongs, and maybe that's something Aidan O'Brien could experiment. But I don't know. Caravaggio, obviously, away from the racetrack, I don't know what kind of horse he is, but I think that he could potentially go up in trip and could be an interesting one. But Harry Angel could be an exciting prospect for the races ahead this summer and next year, so it'd be interesting to see how he does. Then our other selection was at Ascot, but it got withdrawn. I'm not sure if I didn't see the race, but I'm not sure if it played up just beforehand or something, because it got withdrawn. I know it went down to post, I think, but it got withdrawn. So yeah, it wasn't a great day on Saturday, and we'll just forget about that one and go on to tomorrow's horse racing action, like I said at the start. And tomorrow, there was a few races that did catch up my eye in the end, and I was able to make an each way lucky 15 for tomorrow. There's not a lot of great horse racing on tomorrow, it's just your average kind of midweek racing, but we've managed to pull something together, like I said. And the first selection we're going for tomorrow is in the 4:30 at Ayr with a horse called Century Dream, trained by Simon Crisford, and Graham Lee takes a ride on this one. 5-1 bookmakers at the moment. It's going to be running over a mile tomorrow, which seems to be its optimum trip. It's 2 from 2 wins attempting this distance, and it won really nicely at Doncaster last time, and Doncaster tends to hold up the form. If you tend to do well at Doncaster, you tend to run well at other tracks, so that's something to definitely take note of there. I thought 5-1 was quite an interesting price, not bad in the weights as well. This horse is only 3 years old still, up and coming, and there's definitely a lot more scope for improvement in this horse, and he could go well tomorrow, and that's going to be our first selection at in the 4:30. Our second selection tomorrow sees us go over to Ireland for a change. Don't often go over to Ireland in our Lucky 15 predictions, but we've gone over to Ireland tomorrow because I thought that was quite an interesting race. And I've picked out a horse that will be my long shot for tomorrow that I thought was quite interesting on paper. It's called Petticoat, trained by Michael Halford, and Shane Foley takes the ride. It's part of the Godolphin team, and this horse didn't run the best race last time, but it's quite an interesting horse. It's dropping back to a mile, which it has previously won at, and it's got a handicap mark of 90, but it's quite a nice size horse, and it's got an interesting pedigree as well, being of Cape Cross, so that seems to be good there. This horse is still relatively unexposed. It's going to be meeting a few good Ballydoyle, Aidan Bryan horses tomorrow. Arskin is turning up. That's definitely the favourite on paper at the moment, but I think that horse has still got 1 or 2 question marks over it. Again, Music Box, which will be ridden by Shamie Heffernan tomorrow, that did win last time, but again, before that, hadn't been the most solid and easiest horse to back, so it'll be an interesting race tomorrow. It's a listed race as well, so they're all going to be running off roughly the same weights, and it'll be an interesting one. Petticoat was 8-1 bookmakers at the moment. I thought that was a good price to definitely make the frame in the race at least, especially over what seems to be its best distance so far to date, being that its only win happened to be over a mile, and I thought that could definitely serve it in good stead for the race. So that's going to be our second selection in the 7 o'clock at Killarney tomorrow. Our third selection tomorrow sees us go over to Windsor in the 7:20. Horse we've backed here is our nap for tomorrow, Super Julius, trained by Eve Johnson-Horton, who's been in great form of late. Charles Bishop takes the ride, who rides a lot of winners for her. She also tends to do quite well this track at Windsor, and this horse is going for a hat-trick tomorrow. It's got 2 previous wins under its belt on its last 2 races, where it was running in the cheap pieces, and they seem to have a really positive effect for this horse. He's going to be nicely in the weights tomorrow as well. He's going to be receiving at least half a stone from Darkshot, who is the main market contender at the moment, who's the favourite, Andrew Bolden horse, but I'm not sure about that horse's temperament in the race. Can it definitely finish over the line? It will be that race a lot easier tomorrow for Darkshot compared to what he's been racing against recently. But I thought Super Julius at a price for more of a shorter cert, I thought was probably not going to be a cert now. Now I've napped it. No, my records with napping. But I thought 4-1, that was quite a fair price for the value in that horse. And I thought going into it tomorrow, it could definitely follow up and give us a hat-trick win there, and hopefully be our third winner tomorrow. So that's going to be our nap tomorrow, Super Julius in the 7:20 at Windsor. We then go on to the next race at Windsor for our last selection tomorrow. Horse in the 7:50 called Canberra Cliffs, 5-1 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by Don Cantillon, who will be using the services of George Wood tomorrow, who will be able to use his £3 claimer there, so that will come in handy. Don Cantillon, has quite a few horses. He doesn't have the biggest stable in the world, but a lot of the horses he has tend to go over the flat and the jumps, and they tend to run well for him. And this horse has been running well of late. It's had 2 places in its last 2 races, where it's been competing off the same mark of 76, and it will be running off that mark tomorrow. It's going off at around about 5-1 with bookmakers at the moment, but obviously that price could drift, or money could come in for that horse, because obviously we don't know until nearer the race what the real market really thinks of it. But I thought at a price already that could be an interesting one, because it's been running really well of late and it's been very consistent in its races, and I thought, it still being 3 years old, it's only off a mark of 76, this horse could have a lot more to come on the flat, and I thought he could be a good price there tomorrow, at least to run into the frame. And even if he comes in 2nd or 3rd on the each way angle, that could still be a good result for us there. So that's going to be our last selection tomorrow, Canberra Cliffs in 750 at Windsor. But if you had a good weekend, let us know in the comments box below. I'd like to know your opinions. Also as well, let us know your tips for tomorrow. If you've got any good red hot tips that you think are worth a mention, let us know in the comments box below. Or you can try and go against me. I've seen a few of you in the past, in the last week or so, have been going against what I've predicted in the races that I've gone for, and sometimes you've actually agreed with me and we've never won, or sometimes I've gone against you and I've beaten you, and you've gone against me and you've beaten me. So yeah, I enjoyed the little competition and a little bit of banter. So please comment, like the videos as well for more horse racing content. Like I say, I'm hoping to be a horse racing journalist one day, and the more people that can subscribe to the channel, the more likely I can get out there and improve the channel. I want to get out there to horse racing trainers, see what goes on behind the scenes at their stables, how they prepare horses for races, that kind of thing. So that's something I really want to target and do next. So thank you for all your support so far. I'll be continuing all this week to make horse racing videos in the format of an each way Lucky15 bet. So yeah, gamble responsibly. Don't bet too heavily on my predictions, because they probably won't pay you dividends. And yeah, so yeah, we'll be seeing you soon.